So we've asked this team from the NFL to join us to dig into their workflow. Russell Simon and Jordan Dolbin, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks, guys, so much. So excited to be here. And my audio sounds good. Everyone can hear me, right?
Yep, sounds good, looks good. You're good to go.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Kristen, for the great intro. And I'd specifically like to welcome all the LCCs who I know have joined us today. My name is Russell Simon, and I'm now in my 4th season at the NFL. And I think as I start this presentation, I want to talk about what our marketing team strives to do every day. Across the org, we want to become sports' most passionate and modern storyteller. And today, over the next 25 minutes, you're going to learn 2 ways how we do that. And we're going to start with the team that I oversee, the live content correspondents. So I want to kick this off by showing you all the power of the LCC program. Week 3 of the NFL season this season. Justin Jefferson, a standout rookie for the Minnesota Vikings, takes a 71-yard touchdown to the house. And as you can see, he does a great touchdown celebration into the end zone called the Gritty, which is a dance that he actually helped start down in Louisiana. And we have what's called an LCC, Talia Johnson, who I know has joined us today. And she's in the end zone with her DSLR camera, and she gets a great shot of Jefferson running right at her. And she immediately gets the card out of her camera and sends it off to the Vikings social team. And the Vikings immediately post on their Instagram, on their Twitter, and on their Instagram stories within a matter of moments. Now, my team is back in New York. We know that there's a great moment that just happened. So we are telling all of our teams to be ready. And lo and behold, a few moments later, the video is up on the NFL Instagram. It's up on NFL Fantasy in our app. So if you've drafted Justin Jefferson to your fantasy team, you're getting an alert with this video to your phone. It's up on the Checkdown, our Helmets Off football culture site, because he did such a great dance. But we're just getting started. It's up on NFL TikTok, multiple angles of the Gritty. It's up on our Giphy channel. It's up on NFL Network, Total Access. All of our programming is using our shot. Still not done. Justin Jefferson went to LSU. This video is sent to their social team, and right away, they're posting it. Justin Jefferson gets back to his locker. He's got this video waiting for him to post. He posts one of his best performing videos of all time. Even his brands are posting it, but we're still not done. People are talking about the Gritty. It's the most exciting dance that all the players are doing now. So we use our footage and actually make a mini documentary where we interview Justin about how the Gritty started, and it even gets picked up by Complex and they interview him. So ultimately, Talia got this shot, and it resulted in over 20 different posts, generating almost 18 million views. And this is the power of having always-on creators. The live content correspondents are an always-on league-wide network of creators who capture and create content for the league, our clubs, and our players 365 days a year. There's over 90 of them all over the world. And as you can see, we've really scaled up year over year. Last year, we had 100% growth in engagements and 5,900 social posts across our ecosystem. So without you even knowing it, if you follow your teams and the NFL on social, you're seeing our videos constantly on game day. And I want to walk us through real quick how we've grown. So in year 1, the program started just as a way to help our clubs capture more content. When a team like the Bengals would travel, they may not have enough content resources to capture everything that they need to on game day. So in year 1, we hired just 32 creators, and they worked only on game day, shooting mainly phone and video content. Instagram stories had just launched at that point, and the emphasis was really on speed, just getting the best moments from each game up as quickly as possible. Fast forward to years 2 and 3, we had earned the trust of all 32 clubs. They knew that they could count on us to deliver real-time content, so we were really able to scale this dramatically. We started to focus more on high-quality content and DSLR video, and this was really the first time that the NFL was able to have a social presence on the field at every game. So now we had every moment from every game in real time, high quality photos, high quality videos, and we've really scaled up the program from there. We also started working a lot more outside of game day. So on the club side, whether it was events or things going on with fans at games, they were able to leverage LCCs to capture that content. And we also started to work much more closely with our players, which Jordan will be speaking about in the second half of our presentation today. Fast forward to year 4, you might notice there's something different about this photo. And if you're thinking, wow, I can't believe there's 4 LCCs at this game, you're right. This year there are 4, but obviously not the biggest change. Corona has definitely caused us to really shift how the program operates. We used to be able, as you could see in year 1, we're running on the field with Baker after the game to get content. This year, we're working out of an operational zone, which is close to the field, but not on it. So we have more creators, but it's obviously a lot harder to get some of the content that we've relied on in the past. But it's kind of ironic. In year 1, we started the program to help our clubs capture more content on game day. And now this year, a lot of clubs are having restrictions on their travel and how many people they can bring to games. So now that we've scaled up the program, our content is really more important on game day than ever before. And I wanted to walk you through a bit of our game day workflow. And our overall goal, Corona or not, is to bring our fans as close as they can get to the game, wherever they are in real time. And the way that we do this is by building out our LCC content ecosystem. And this is one of the most important slides that I'll show everyone today. So as the program grew, we started to have our content used by more and more stakeholders and started to work more closely with each individual group to make sure that we were tailor-making what we were shooting to what they needed. So the biggest group that we work with is obviously social and social content, mainly for our clubs. 70% of Instagram is clubs, 15% of LCC content ends up going to the NFL. We also work very closely with our players. 277 players posted LCC content last season. Our top players were Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson in terms of volume, but we work across all clubs, all players, just like that Justin Jefferson example I showed you all earlier. We also work across NFL O&O. So as we've come up with innovative new products internally at the NFL, LCC content fits in very well with them, particularly with the NFL fantasy example I offered earlier, but also with new types of content that we've been able to deliver to NFL films so that they can incorporate in some of our long form content, our documentaries. And everyone knows that NFL films is really the gold standard for content capture in sports, and knowing that the LCCs are able to contribute to them is obviously a big point of personal pride for me. We also work very closely with our partners, particularly our colleges. And there are 95 colleges in our college social program. And when Justin Jefferson scores that touchdown, we're talking with the LSU social team, and they know that they're getting this clip that they can incorporate into their content. 70% of all content that we share with our colleges is LCC content. So our group is really fueling that collaboration across schools. We also work very closely with a bunch of different emerging media platforms, particularly Giphy. We launched a new category in the app called the Sideline Cam. So it's all of our best shots slowed down, made into GIFs. It's generated over 1.5 billion views over the last 2 years. And then TikTok is obviously a critical one. LCC content, especially on game day, is tailor-made for storytelling in TikTok. All clubs have posted LCC content on TikTok, generating over 72.5 million views over 500 TikToks created this year and last year. We also work very closely with our influencer team. When celebrities went to games, particularly last year, we were able to partner them up with LCCs who would create content, shoot photos of them on the sidelines, and then in real time get these photos back to the influencers so they could post that they were at the game having a great time, and that really was an added bonus to our ecosystem. And then we also support all of our broadcast partners. So the best content that we shoot is going out in real time across all broadcast networks, particularly NFL Network. And I think this slide is really important because you don't have to be in sports for this type of model to be appropriate for you. Developing a content ecosystem allows your content to have stronger impact and wider reach. And no matter whether you're a restaurant or a foundation. There are other stakeholders that can use your content in different ways, and that will really allow it to scale. So taking a look now at some of our game day essentials, this year, obviously it's a little bit different, but the whole point of the program is that we're getting content out as quickly as possible. And as a rule of thumb, it's our goal that by the time the commercial break ends after a touchdown is scored, a club already has content from us that they can post. So we shoot on generally 100 to 400 or 70 to 200 lenses. And then we have an entire mobile uploading system. So we have hardwired Ethernet on the sidelines at every single stadium, so that LCCs, the minute they get a shot, they can plug into the Ethernet and quickly upload. And obviously we didn't have that in year one, and in year two, this was really a game changer for the program. So in real time, we're able to get the best moments out, and it just makes our content that much more impactful. We use Slack in real time to communicate with our clubs, and then PhotoShelter is huge for our archive after every game. And that really helps all of our content have kind of two life cycles. The first one is obviously in game, and the second is after the game. So taking a look at some of our highlights this season, obviously touchdowns and celebrations are our bread and butter. Basically every highlight that's going up on the NFL Instagram has an LCC component. Getting retweeted by the former president, obviously a highlight. And when Tom Brady joined the Buccaneers, we are able to give people a front row seat on game day and access that you never otherwise would get. And we're able to do it at scale. We also work very closely with all of our players. And this was really a development that we started last year, but we wanted to scale up our content and our storytelling and go beyond just capturing the moments. So Russell Wilson has eyes on him basically the entire day when he is playing home and road games. And so much so that he actually knows that there's an LCC station there. So he'll give the LCC a soundbite because he knows it's going to be used in his video after the game. So he'll post an edit of all of our footage after each game. Patrick Mahomes, another great example. We worked with him on Get Out the Vote initiatives. He knew he would wear his vote shirt pregame, and then our crew would capture that content, and we created several different assets for him, from this graphic to some videos. And then Juju Smith-Schuster, obviously a content legend already. He has eyes on him wherever he goes on the field and off, and we're able to turn around edits and high quality content for his social channel. And I'm very excited for you to hear more from Jordan about how we work with our players. But before we dive into that, I wanted to walk you through how LCCs excel and help level up our events. And I want to talk real quick about Super Bowl LIV, probably the most rewarding project I've ever worked on. We brought 15 LCCs for the week down to Miami, and a lot of the LCC focus was actually centered on content off the field. We really wanted to help make Super Bowl and Super Bowl week an even bigger cultural moment amongst those 12 to 24. So a lot of that work happened off the field, whether it was promoting the halftime show by creating content with Shakira and J-Lo. That was probably the most fun day of my 4 years at the NFL thus far, to covering the Twitch Streamer Bowl, which was where gamers were matched up with certain players who obviously didn't make the Super Bowl, but they were down in Miami. And we were the team that was creating the live content around that event. And whether it's a football game or the Streamer Bowl, the ecosystem and the workflow that we have is applicable to everyone, every event. So when, Tfue is a perfect example. He's a streamer. We were shooting content of him, got him with Kyler Murray, and he, was with our LCC and was just like, hey, send me that photo. And he was able to do that in the moment. That's an Instagram post, one of the highest performing posts we had all of Super Bowl. We also had an influencer suite for the first time ever at the Super Bowl, where we invited 30 influencers to spend their Super Bowl with us in the suite. And we captured content for them that we posted on NFL, shared across the ecosystem, and also shared with the influencers, generating 22 posts from talent and really elevating the Super Bowl as a cultural moment. Obviously, we had Jay-Z on the sidelines as well, and we were able to share with our audience across NFL who the celebrities were who were on the field and in the suites at the Super Bowl. On the field, it was our goal that by the time, a commercial ended, we had the best moments up across everything. So the Chiefs, this was, the go-ahead touchdown that Damian Williams scored, to post-game. We were the ones who were capturing the best moments and getting them out in real time. We had 239 posts across Twitter and Instagram on Super Bowl day, generating over 13 million engagements, and it was really the best of the best. And beyond that, we were able to leverage LCCs for one of my favorite executions that I've ever been involved in, the Twitter Confetti execution. So Twitter users were able to send in tweets about the game, and we printed them off on Confetti and used LCCs to capture the content that we were able to get out in real time after the game. And that photo was actually tweeted by Tyrann Mathieu, the Chiefs safety, years ago, talking about what it would be like to win the Super Bowl. And we knew to get that shot of the confetti with his jersey in the background, and it really helped create a moment that we could share across a huge variety of different users. And this really was key to making that execution work. We also had a lot of content that we created directly for Patrick Mahomes. So you're going to hear a bit more about this from Jordan, but Patrick Mahomes has dedicated LCC support on and off the field. When he goes to LA, he's got an LCC with him, and we're helping him create workout content and things around fitness and fashion. And on game day, he and his team are already accustomed to working with LCCs. So immediately after the Super Bowl, Jordan, one of our LCC extraordinaires, slid in and got the selfie video of him saying how excited he was that he just won the Super Bowl. Actually, our highest performing video on social ever. But that was only the beginning. We had an edited video that went up on his channels roughly an hour after the game, showcasing his journey from growing up to when he was a Super Bowl champion, all using our footage. And then his team also trusted us to go with him to Disney and create content with him when he was going through the Disney parade, being honored as the Super Bowl champion. So we're able to elevate these moments, scale these moments, and this is only possible through the LCC program and the ecosystem that we've built. And it's also made possible through the great work that our player social marketing program does. And to tell you more about that, I'm going to toss it over to Jordan. Jordan, take it away.
Okay. So I'm going to do my best to get this done in 5 minutes, but I'm going to chat through our NFL player social marketing program. And knowing that this is a PhotoShelter event, we're going to focus a bit more on workflow as opposed to strategy. So what is the NFL player social marketing program? The easy and short answer is nope. The easy and short answer is this. Current NFL players, real talk. How do y'all get game picks so fast? Y'all boys post right after the post-game interview. And Joe Hayden, with an excellent endorsement of our program. Bro, it's so crazy. Team photographers send them like text messages. Literally have 10 pics walking in the stadium before you get to your locker. And so in all seriousness, our program and the focus of it and the goal of it is to equip all players with the resources, opportunities, and support they need to effectively build their brands using social media. So for us, what I wanted to emphasize here is this program is built for all players. And so looking at the growth of our program, we actually launched the program in 2016 and started with about a pilot group of about 44 players. But as of 2017, we had 119 players. And you'll see now in year 5, we're up to 900. And again, for us in a perfect world, we would get this to all 1,696 active players each year. And so what does this support look like? What does it mean to provide content, resources, and opportunity? So the foundation of our program is simply for getting content to players, knowing that players, one, for the most part, are not inherently content creators. They have many passions and they're absolutely multidimensional people, but not always content creators. And so how do we get them premium content? So that starts with just getting them raw photos and raw video. And this includes AP photos, NFL photographer photos, and LCC content. And so we're able to get content to all 900 players. And then through workflow efficiencies and the LCC program, that allows us to focus on these other three things. So we can offer players creative support. So this includes creating highlight videos that have licensed commercial music over them, creating just like unique and strategic opportunities for them to lean into their interests. So who are they when they take off their helmet? And that's something you'd hear a lot. If you hear anybody from our marketing department talk, they're going to talk about taking off the player helmet. How can we help them elevate both their interests, but also just their personal stories and journeys? And so we're also able to offer just social insights and education. So how can we help empower our players to be successful on social? So this can be at the player level. So what's been successful for you? Where are you seeing the most success? But also just, is there a new platform? Are there new tools? Are there ways that you can, like, opportunities you can lean into? And then we host a player social workshop. So we invited NFL players to Malibu last year to hear from presenters who are thought leaders in space, whether it was the founder of Twitch or the founder of Snapchat or King Batch and Lindsey Vaughn. We had players come and hear from some of the thought leaders in the space. And then the fourth piece, and it's one that is we think we bring a ton of value, is that we can offer both the NFL platform, but also the platforms of our partners. So how can we help our players get in front of different audiences? So for our players who are gamers, how can we help them engage with that community through partnerships with our league partners? And, you know, players who are into fashion, how can we partner them with, you know, the hypebeasts, the GQs of the world? And so this is what our support looks like. And if you take a look at the 2020 numbers, and this is where I get to the point of this presentation, is we have 900 active players onboarded to the program. And through 10 weeks in the season, which is just over 2 months, we've been able to send 25,000 pieces of content to all players onboarded. 4,000 of those pieces of content are video. And this is all done by a team of 5. And realistically, there's a team of 3 who are really working behind the scenes to get this content out every week. This is an every Sunday thing. And so how are we able to scale this program? Is the keys to scaling the player social program is 1, through workflow efficiencies through tech, and then 2, the LCC program. And so to start, one of our biggest efficiencies and the best example of how we've been able to scale this program, when we think about growing this program, the question we ask ourselves is, if we never got another body, so we weren't able to hire another person, how can we continue to maintain the support of every single player? And we've been able to do that through optimizing the tools that we use. And so our previous game day workflow, before we were able to integrate socially and PhotoShelter, is we would have to download content from every source. So AP Photos, PhotoShelter, and broadcast feeds. We'd have to download it from the internet, save it onto our computer, upload it back to the internet into socially, add player, source, and tracking tags. Photo credits were necessary, and then repeat for every single player, which obviously is not scalable. That's not something that 3 people can do to scale. And so 2 years ago, we were able to work with Socially and PhotoShelter to launch an integration where now we just go straight to Socially. All of our photo content is in there. So from NFL photographers, AP photographers, and LCC, all that content's already in Socially. We are able to filter by team and then select the content we want to send each player and then just hit send. There is no tagging. There is no downloading and uploading. It's really at the click of a button. And if you think about it, at the league level, we can only automate so far, but the club can automate all the way through the sending process. They're not even having to flex photos, but at the league level, it uses metadata. So for instance, if Jalen Ramsey were to, pick off Tom Brady and the metadata said Jalen Ramsey intercepts Tom Brady, that would tag them both. And so at the league level, we're going to have to go through and select content. And so now we move into the LCC portion. How has the LCC program, how does it power the NFL's player social marketing efforts? So the way I'll approach this is, how does it help us reach our goals and what we're looking to do and how we're looking to elevate our players? So the LCC program, for celebrating on-field heroics, we have LCCs in areas of the field where you wouldn't always see traditional photographers and cameras. And so while there's always broadcast cameras, NFL film cameras, the LCC program provides quality and at scale. So we are able to have like these sideline shots, and we're able to get up close and personal because they're mobile. They got just a DSLR and they're mobile and able to follow the plays and the player. And so we're able to get Juju Schuster practicing pregame, and then the shot of him doing this touchdown celebration during the game. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, his first ever touchdown, he goes to his phone after the game and he has a broadcast video, a broadcast angle and an LCC angle, and this is what he posts. And then at Arrivals, knowing that, our players are big into fashion, how do we, and this is one of their biggest off-helmet moments of a game day, they really, once they arrive, like the helmet is on for the most part. So LCCs allow us to kind of be everywhere, have eyes and ears everywhere, and we're able to capture content of every player. And so then sharing player stories, and this is one I won't spend a ton of time in because Russ talked about it, but this whole thing started with a shot that the LCC team was able to get out in real time across platforms and really create a conversation. And so we were able to then partner with the Check Down to help tell this story, so connect with the player, connect with the guy who invented the gritty. And then we were also able to connect with Complex, one of our media partners, and let them know that, like, hey, we have an opportunity to tell the story of Justin Jefferson. We were able to connect them with the player and really provide more scale and more reach into an audience that Justin may not have reached just by focusing on the NFL platform. And then finally, showcasing player personalities. So we're able to have an LCC. So DeMarcus Robinson, they tell us, hey, I'm going to be in New York doing a media tour. Can you guys help me capture content? And so instead of having to scramble and figure out how do we get a crew there, how do we get people there, like, we're able to connect with Russ and the LCC team. They're able to connect with their LCC, and within 24 hours, we can plan a shoot like this. And so we had DeMarcus Robinson, right after he won the Super Bowl, go do a man on the streets in New York City. And so this is the biggest power. This is how it powers the NFL player program, because knowing how busy players are and how often a lot of things are pretty last minute, we're able to be nimble and get to and plan shoots that traditionally would have taken a lot more time to get a crew and sound and everything. And so my last example is Marlon Humphrey. And I showed these comments because Marlon Humphrey is an all-pro player, and he's a Pro Bowler, and he's someone who has an amazing personality and just never really had an opportunity to show it. And so we're able to help him really show his personality and capture content and put together this piece of his camping vlog. And so I know I went through all that very quickly, but I was trying not to go way over time. And so I don't
Amazing.
There we go.
You guys, that was so cool. Thank you for giving us a look behind the scenes. Both of you are doing incredible work at the NFL, and I am just so glad that we got to show people, what you all are working on.